All right, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers in this video because honestly, well, I just don't care, number one. And number two, I wanna give you some truth around fat loss because there's a lot of information out there. In fact, there's so much information, it can be extremely overwhelming for the busy dad like myself who's trying to get in shape, trying to look good with his shirt off, but he's got to juggle family, work, and personal responsibilities all day, every day, and just isn't sure what to do. It can be really frustrating. So on today's video, I want to give you 5 things that everybody tells you should do when it comes to losing fat, but I don't do any of them. And I'll tell you why I don't do them, what you should do instead, and I'll give you the playbook for what's allowed me to stay under 15% body fat for the better part of the last almost 12 years while having 2 boys in a span of 18 months, taking a business from 0 to over 4 million, and being able to sustain a healthy marriage, lots of friends, great social life, and feeling my best when it comes to my health and fitness. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing that everybody tells you to do is to track your macros. Now, what are macros? Well, we're talking about your protein, your carbs, and your fats. And if you track your macros, you're in a sense just tracking your calories. Now, I don't track all my macros, but here's the deal. For a long time, I did. I tracked every protein gram, every carb gram, every fat gram that went in my mouth. I knew every detail of what I was eating. Now, that gave me some really good education, but what it also did was it created a almost OCD-like behavior when it came to my food, and it really made my food relationship strained. I started to worry about every little thing when it came to my nutrition. At the time, it was eye-opening because before tracking macros, I thought I had to quote unquote eat clean, or I thought I had to cut out all my carbs, which we're going to talk about some of the other nonsense that gets spread around the fitness industry. But for me, tracking macros for a very short period of time was freeing. I was now able to eat basically whatever I wanted as long as I hit my protein, carb, and fat goals each and every day. But once again, over time, this became really stressful. And I was like playing a geometry math equation every day, trying to fit in all the little foods that I like, all the things that would actually hit my macros, and food became unenjoyable once again. So what do I do now? Well, I follow what's called our meal rotation system. And this is something that I teach our clients inside of what we call our 3M system. You can actually learn all about it. In the link below, I actually have a free group where I teach this stuff just about every single day. Exclusive trainings for guys over the age of 40 with a family who want to look good with their shirt off without sacrificing life in the process. You can join for free, but here's one of the key things I teach, this meal rotation system. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. You got to control your calories. You have to eat less calories than you burn in order to lose fat. The next thing you need to really take note of is how much protein you're getting every day. Now, do you need to eat, this crazy high number of protein grams every day to hit your goals? No, that's the protein companies out there trying to sell you supplements. What I suggest is getting about 0.8 grams per pound of lean body mass. So you take away the body fat on your body and the rest is, muscle, tendons, joints, bones, all that stuff. Get about 0.8 grams per pound of lean body mass every day. What I like to do to make it even more simple is I tell our clients we're going to aim for around a gram per pound of goal body weight every day. So if you're like 250 pounds, you want to be 200, we're going to try to be as close to 200 grams of protein a day, but all in all we're probably going to be 170 to 100, to 200 grams of protein a day. In that range, we're totally fine. Same is true with calories. I set a range of calories now where I know, okay, if I hit the top end, I'm still in a deficit, not as big a deficit if I'm trying to lose fat. If I hit the bottom level of range, then I'm in a bigger deficit. Like I should be gaining serious momentum with my fat loss. So in other words, I know if I'm in 500 calorie deficit, my calories are probably gonna be around 2,500 calories a day because I burn about 3,000 calories a day, just moving around, working out, doing all my stuff. So if I eat 2,500, I'm starting to tap into body fat. But I know some days my appetite doesn't require that. So as long as I'm around, let's call it 2,000 calories a day to 2,500, I know I'm going to lose fat over time. I don't want to track every macro. So what am I supposed to do? Well, I have created meal rotations. So I have about 8 meals that I rotate through that I know, okay, if I go out to eat here, if I'm at home, I have my food that I like to eat. It's all stuff that's super easy. Throw some stuff in the air fryer, go grab something from Chick-fil-A, go to Chipotle, have my eggs and a bagel sometimes. I have my ground beef wrapped up in some tacos. I know because I've just taken a few, let's call it days, not even days, to track what I eat and know, all right, roughly how many calories are these meals. And then I just eat those meals on rotation. And I know if I eat 4 meals a day that are about 600 calories, well, that's 2,400 calories, right? So I don't have to stress this whole track every macro thing because I'm knocking out the 2 most important things: calories and protein. Carbs and fats are going to vary depending on, number one, obviously the food I'm eating, but also my goals. Sometimes I'm in like full-blown fat loss, get as shredded as possible. I'm probably eating more fats than carbs at that point. I'm not going no carb or anything. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that I still enjoy different varieties of food. So if I go out and let's say I want to have some pasta, it's got a ton of carbs, I don't need to stress as much the carbs as I do the calories, all right? And making sure I'm getting enough protein. If I hit my calories, hit my protein goal, my food is checked, right? The box is checked when it comes to my nutrition. Now, the second thing I don't do that a lot of you are doing that I just see as a massive mistake. When you start losing fat or trying to lose fat, all of a sudden you start doing like super high rep training, high volume, lots of reps, lots of sets. You're going crazy trying to burn more calories, trying to burn or whatever, burn through the fat. That's just not how it works, okay? That's only going to do a few things. Number one, it's not going to lead to more muscle, which is a metabolic superpower. If you carry more muscle, you're going to burn, more calories each day. You're also tapping into recovery ability because your body's getting more wear and tear. So you're just, banging away at your joints. And a lot of guys start getting tendonitis, their shoulder starts to hurt because they don't have as many calories as normal. So their body's recovery ability is not as high. You're also not sending optimized muscle building signal to the body, all right? The body is going to typically respond from the first set you do in an exercise that you're taking close to failure, if not to failure. Usually in the 4 to 8 rep range, that's where you're going to get the best muscle building signal, right? That mechanical tension that gets activated when you train like that. So don't be afraid to go heavier, but do it safely. A lot of guys are worried about hurting their back, blowing a knee out or whatever. This is where I suggest using machines. Okay, machines can be a tremendous asset. Hammer strength is great. There's a ton of other great machines out there to help you with stabilizing the weight and not hurting yourself, right? Because a lot of guys are just scared to go heavy with dumbbells and barbells. I get it, okay? This is where a really experienced coach and program can help you out, right? And build something for you that makes sense for you, your injuries, what you're dealing with, okay? But I don't go crazy with reps. I don't, start doing 15 sets, 30 reps a set, like nothing like that. I don't jump into CrossFit. CrossFit's just not what I recommend for most guys trying to get in shape. I'm not saying it doesn't have its time and place, but if you're trying to look good with your shirt off, you need to train a little heavier, okay? You got to start pushing some weight, adding some muscle, keeping your strength, signaling to your body that it should be holding on to muscle. Ditch the high rep training, ditch the 6 days a week training. I'm talking 3 to 4 days in the gym, pick 3 to 5 exercises, 2 to 3 sets, heavier weight. Make sure you're resting at least a minute between sets, get your body ready for the next set and go crush it. We want to be building muscle as much as we can while we're losing fat. Okay, now I talked about the nutrition stuff as number one, but there's another layer to this. This is something I also help our clients understand when they get in our program, which by the way, if you're interested in our actual program, we got the details below, but what I'll tell you is that the next place, like the next step for you would be to join our community for guys who want to look good shirtless, but have families, have busy, demanding careers, have a lot of success in the career department. Family's great. You just don't feel great about how you look. We have a whole community where I post exclusive trainings every single week to help you dial this stuff in and understand the process. And then if you're ready, we might have some coaching opportunities for you, but it's absolutely free to join. Just check the link below. I'll put it in the description of this video and I'll even try to drop it into the comments so you can just click and join. It's absolutely free to join. So do that. The next thing, the third thing I don't do is I don't cut out sugar and carbs when I'm trying to lose fat. And a lot of you are probably going to start, this guy's full of crap. Like, what do you mean you don't cut out sugar? Isn't sugar bad for you? Sugar, just like anything else in excess, can be bad for you, yes. But sugar is a broad term. What about sugar from fruit? Is that bad for you, right? What about the fact that when you eat something like oatmeal or you eat, potatoes, that gets broken down into glucose and gets stored in the body as sugar? Is that bad for you, right? What about carbs? Aren't carbs the devil? Well, no, carbs are not the devil. People tell you to cut carbs as like the first step. That they have no clue what they're talking about. Obviously, there's going to be some individual requirements when it comes to nutrition. You might have medical issues. You might be pre-diabetic. You might be severely obese. I don't know. But if you're a guy in his 40s who's got, 40 pounds of fat to lose and really the biggest thing you need to do is just eat on a better system and start moving more and lifting weights again. Dude, you're going to need some carbs. You don't want to go insane, right? Unless you absolutely need to go keto, I would highly suggest having a balanced fuel approach. Getting some carbs, some fats, get the best of both worlds so you actually enjoy your diet, man. If you can't wake up every day and go, man, I see myself following this kind of plan for a while, you're probably on the wrong nutrition plan, okay? You're probably on the wrong nutrition plan. So I don't cut that out. In fact, I keep carbs in all the time. Sometimes I do a little bit of carb cycling. I might go, 3 to 4 days with less carbs just to deplete myself. And I'm going to be honest, you start to feel pretty crappy at that point. But then what do? Well, then I add them back in. But remember, just like I said first, I control my calories and I control my protein. Those two things, they move the needle all the way there, right? You get those two things right, pretty much everything else falls into place, okay? Now, number 4, because I promised you 5 things. The last thing is interesting, but I think these last 2 are big because at the end of the day, I see people still preaching this and it's just absurd to me. The next one is I don't abuse cardio. A lot of guys think, well, I got to dust off the Peloton. I got to hit the streets for a run every night. I got to do a lot of cardio. I'm here to tell you, cardio is very important. But it's actually more important for your heart health than it is for fat loss. Okay, fat loss is a simple math equation. You burn more calories than you eat more protein to hold on to muscle. You try to eat as healthy as you can, and you move enough, burn enough calories, and you're going to lose fat. You're going to get ripped as long as you stick with it. But cardio gets abused, and cardio is something the body can adapt to relatively easily over time. So if you're like, I'm going to knock out an hour on the Peloton every day, well, that hour on the Peloton is not going to be as valuable as time goes on. You might be burning 300 calories for the first week every hour that you do the Peloton. The next week, the body's like, we've adapted. We're more efficient now. So now all of a sudden you're burning 200 calories and the body's adapting and adapting. And eventually you're burning very little. Not to say you ever get down to 0 or anything weird, but you're just having to do more to get the same result. I like to use a movement lifestyle. Okay, meaning I just walk strategically throughout my day. I get a walking pad. I walk around the neighborhood, take my dogs for an extra walk. I'm just doing things that I can stick with for a long period of time that my body won't adapt to very easily, okay? Because I'm not going crazy with raising my heart rate up. Now, I do cardio for heart health. I'll do intense finishers on my workout sometimes. I'll do incline walking, but I'm not worried about losing fat in that instance. I'm worried about getting my heart rate up, getting into zone 2, zone 3 cardio so my heart stays healthy. Okay, but that's a whole nother discussion. We're talking about fat loss here. And what I don't want you guys to do is think that you have to start sweating it out on the cardio machines, because a lot of people will tell you that you got to do more cardio. You got to get up and do the step mill. You got to do your daily fasted cardio. And I'm just here to tell you, those things could help, but they won't help you forever. They won't be sustainable forever. Once again, I'm talking to the busy guy out there. I'm not talking to the 21-year-old kid who the only thing he's got to worry about is showing up to his job during the day, but he's got his mornings and his nights to himself. I'm talking about the guy who's got a schedule full of responsibilities, who's like, I got 3 sessions a week for an hour workout. What am I supposed to do? Well, I'm not here to tell you to fill that up with cardio. I'm here to tell you hit the weights and then just move more throughout your day and control your food, okay? Which, by the way, I can teach you all about it. I can teach you everything about our 3M system. We've been in business for over 20 years, helping guys just like you. I personally used to be 65 pounds overweight. Now, I'm telling you all these tips because this is the stuff that not only made me struggle more when I was overweight, but it almost made me quit fitness completely. I was like, this is terrible. If I have to do all this stuff to be ripped, I don't know if it's worth it. But the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. You can absolutely enjoy your routine and your system and get in the best shape of your life. I'll teach you how to do it. Click the links below. Go to our free group and get involved in our community. All right, our community is full of guys just like you, trying to get in better shape, who just need a better system. And that's what I'll teach you. So the last thing, okay, I don't eat small meals all day long every 2 to 3 hours. I don't. Okay, my eating schedule typically looks something like this. Get up, do my morning work, do my morning Bible reading, do my prep for the day, write out my to-dos, do my vision for the day, remind myself of my wins that I'm going after. Great. Get my kids ready for school, take them to school, go to the gym. Okay, have a coffee, do more work, take client calls. And it's usually 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I have my first meal. I'll eat a meal, do some more work, go get my kids from school. I'll have a protein bar, do a little more work to finish the day, go coach my kids in sports, come home, have a big dinner, followed by a tiny, just enjoyable little dessert, and I'll go to bed. I'm not eating every 2 to 3 hours. I'm eating 2 to 3 meals a day with a protein bar, 2 in there, maybe a protein shake, and that's it. I don't need to eat all around the clock, because all you're doing is you're training your appetite to be hungry all the time. You're training your body to crave food all the time. And that's a problem if you're trying to lose fat. If you're hungry all the time, if you're like, man, I could really go for, a snack right now, or is it lunchtime yet? And you're always thinking about food. That's a recipe for disaster. You got to get out of this grazing mentality of like, oh, every 2 hours, I got to keep my metabolism. No, the metabolism does not need you to eat every 2 to 3 hours. What the metabolism needs is for you to not go on crash diets. Don't cut your calories down to 1,000 calories a day. That's a problem. Don't go crazy with activity trying to, run marathons every day to lose fat. Take care of your health. Lift weights. Control your calories. Get enough protein. Those are the things that will keep your metabolism fully optimized. But doing the extreme stuff, the crash dieting, the high activity, plus the low calories, that's going to destroy your metabolism. And it's going to break down muscle tissue. And then over time, you're going to be skinny fat. And that's the last thing you want to be. I like to control my food with a lifestyle friendly meal plan so that if I'm out and about running around, I'm not worried about food. I've become used to eating less frequently, but I eat bigger meals. So I'm more satiated. Okay. I actually get to sit down on a date night with my wife, have a steak, have potatoes, a glass of wine. And it's like, sure, it's 1,200 calories, but guess what? Most of my dinners are 1,200 calories because I save a huge portion for the nighttime. These are 5 things I don't do that everybody tells you to do when it comes to fat loss. My encouragement for you is if this was helpful, take the next step, join our community for guys over 40 with kids who want to look good with their shirt off without having to sacrifice work, family, and career and personal time in order to do it. Teach you the whole system to work for over 7,500 guys over the past 15 plus years that we've been in business. My name's Josiah Novak with The True Transformation, and thanks for watching. Hope this one helped. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.